did notice people that could have super giant budgets doing stuff almost to purposely look. I mean, there is like certain looks that just feel and look cool, but
like what?
Well, it's not so much right now anymore, but like anything like VHS stuff and just I think right now, and this is more so on TikTok, what I see is I think people are liking things that look real.
Like
in
raw?
The moment.
Yeah.
Like it was just in the moment, like not necessarily even like the good lighting, not set up, not thought out too much. Kind of just like you're there.
I've seen somewhere before that they said people like to watch content that they feel like they can make themselves.
Yeah.
Which, you know what I mean?
I think so. The whole thing's pretty interesting.
To me, I think we're at a point now where, okay, like last year, 2023 was the year of captions, graphics, crazy like edits, almost like in a way of like tricking you into watching this piece of content. It's like trying to pull you in with these effects or with this like shock value. And I think people got tired of that. Personally, me, I don't want to watch or see anything that I feel like you're like trying to finesse me into liking. Like just present it. Whatever it is, just show me what it is and let me decide if I want to watch it. Like,
yeah, like
I kind of even like I went back to the roots too. Like I stopped using captions. I stopped using crazy effects because I see that's where it's going to, back to just the raw, just the substance of whatever it is. It's like and then with doing that, you have to come to grips with your stuff isn't for everybody. Like we got into this mode where it's like we want to just edit this in a way to where anybody will fuck with it, or like anybody will watch it at least once. Like, well, we don't care about that. We want to just make shit that we want to make and somehow have it get to the people that it's meant to resonate with. Like, and it's like, with that, we just have to know that's not for everybody.
And I really like that because I I feel like I, for a long time, was making stuff that I know people will like. Like, I know how to find the right part and like with the edits and like make it so it's not boring and like, but at the end of the day, you're catching people's eye and ear maybe for just a few seconds, and then they might be like, oh, that's cool, like, and then maybe they want you to perform somewhere or something, but then it's like, what about like the rest of the song? Like,
that 10 seconds of it went hard on TikTok.
But it's like we've got ad fatigue. Like everything is an ad, and I think that's why you start to appreciate, wow, just like a plain picture with music playing behind it or something like that. It can be so refreshing and sort of, I'm thinking about like volume level too. I think that we have like ear fatigue too from loud, everything being pushed to the max. And whether it's on the phone or with music.
You talking about actually like volume level?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not like a technical expert about what to call what, but yeah, I think like I always was making like all my videos, not necessarily the music ones, but anything with like talking or like other stuff, just clip, like pass clipping.
Oh, like
because
past,
I think it's
zero
funny,
dBs?
like it's just funny. It just sounds gross, and it's already funny and chaotic or whatever, but. Now it's like I pretty much only look on TikTok. Like I don't check out other social media really. But when I come across something, of course there's a whole ASMR thing. It's been a thing forever. But besides that, content that has sound, but it's quiet or subtle. Same with listening to music, like a song that comes out. I think on Spotify, everything's sort of like adjusted to be similar, but old music isn't as loud. It's sort of softer on your ears, and it feels more natural. I'm not like a purist as far as natural. Everything has to be a real instrument, but just, yeah, music maybe not having to be so loud. We're always like, oh, I gotta like make it louder, push it up, like. Woo, but it's like just to fit in industry standard or whatever. But I think that we're in an age that industry standards are begging to be changed. And normally they change after people slowly, there's people that, what is the word? Not really pioneers, but
early adopters.
Just people, we just gotta like make stuff happen and just like it'll slowly
trendsetters.
Kind of, but I think like I'm thinking of more long-term types changes that you don't even notice happening. Like maybe at some point we can like enjoy like the 70s mix and not feel like, oh, you made it too soft or something like that.
I think we're in a world like industry standards are changing, but I think standards in just like society are changing. Like rules are just being bent, broken. Whole new rules are being created right now. Yeah, I think we just seen so much. It got to a point where shit just got boring. And it got boring, but it also got so commercialized with social media that like everybody was just doing these like few things that were working, that they seen working for other people. And then that just started getting spammed out, and it just got old. So now I think we're gonna get back to the point where it's like real creators actually creating new stuff is gonna be like the people who are actually popping. I don't know. What you talking about content on TikTok? What are you really into on TikTok right now? Like what kind of content?
Honestly, every time I watch a video outside of my normal stuff that pops out, it throws everything out of whack. But I try to keep it animals. Like, it could be pets, it could be wild animals, it could be funny, it'd be cute. But because I feel like that's good for me, like, mentally, and it makes me happy and I'll laugh. And, yeah, it feels good. But it's that, and it's a lot of other random things. Sometimes I'll watch, like, the Get Ready With Me's. If the person has a
girls
nice
getting ready,
yeah, if they have,
it's really just them showing their ass the whole time.
No, they got their face. They're doing like, I think it's like therapeutic. Just I don't know, someone's getting ready, and if they have a nice voice, I'll tend to watch the whole thing, even if it's long, just because I have a nice voice. I'm kind of just in a trance.
Have you seen that video of that girl at the gym and she's like making a parody of how girls like do workout videos? And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna set the camera up right here so you can see my big fat ass, and I'm gonna like fake like I'm doing a squat, but at the perfect angle so you can see my ass, and like just different shit. I'm like, hey yo, I don't know, man. I think shit is over sexualized. I'm kind of over that too. Like I'm tired of getting on Instagram. Am I on Instagram or am I on fucking Pornhub?
Yeah, I don't see.
Maybe I'm
there's so many
looking for that.
There's so many sides to any social media, but TikTok especially, there's so many sides of it. Like half of mine will be like the North Sea stuff, where it's like yo ho all hands, and it's, I don't know if they're all actually the North Sea, but it's like, the North Sea is like scary and powerful and huge and just unpredictable or like dangerous for us to be out in. So it's just people on ships and the waves look wild and it looks scary, and I love it. I see more of that than I see of sexualized. I also see a lot of kind of like anti people who don't want to sexualize, right? Like they're actively kind of like, there was this whole thing, it was sometime kind of recently, and I don't know if I was late to it or what. I'll just be like catching stuff, and they're like, what was it? The caption was like they were just trying to look unattractive to men or something like that.
And man, we're still trying to fuck.
Just no, just like they're like they say something to that extent, and I don't know exactly. I think there was a particular phrase, but just like looking scary, and like to me it's sick. Like it's good looks, but they're just kind of scary, and I fucking love that because I love looking, I don't know, maybe just intimidating or scary, and not just like doing yourself up for men, you know? There's a lot of that, I think.
Yeah, I would say you're authentic to the point where it's weird in a good way. And that's how I feel like, that's what I always feel like I resonated with you about. And maybe if I'm wrong, let me know if my judgment is wrong. But like, I've resonated with you because I feel like you like live your creativity. It's not like a thing you just do sometimes. It's like something that you're always experiencing and just live your life like that. And then I feel like almost, because I feel like this, I feel like you don't really understand what you're doing. And it's like, that's kind of how I
don't like
feel.
talking about it.
You know what I mean? That's what I always kind of resonated with you about.
I never thought about that. You don't understand it. Because I'm always in situations where I don't like talking about music. I don't like talking about the business of it, especially because then it just feels weird. But even technically, I was just talking with someone I started working with today, and I was like, they were like, yeah, I use this one to glue the vocals. And I'm like, what does that mean? Just like whatever. And I was like, I use that same one too. And then it's like, I'm doing it too, but like, I don't understand it, and therefore I don't ever talk about it. I'll just be doing it. Like,
it's like people say they feel misunderstood by people, but it's like, I don't know if I understand myself. So how can I expect other people to understand me?
It's the human condition. Like, we're confusing, and in the world we're in, the society and like the whatever or where we are in our space is fucking weird. Like, what? I don't want to be too cliche or like to be too generalizing because I'm not a scholar and I don't feel like I know really what the fuck is going on. But just the fact that like living every day, like waking up, going out into the world, whatever shit is weird. It feels stressful. Like there's a lot of anxiety. Like it's hard to get the air you breathe and the water you need to like wash your hands and drink and stuff like that. I don't think those things should be hard. So I think it's normal to feel confused and to feel angry and to feel sad and to freak out. And I think that it's always been a thing to kind of hide that for people. And that's sort of like, I do kind of see a lot of people sort of being more open about things, but then it kind of becomes a trend because of the way that our daily, the way that the things we look at, are lined up to where they're kind of like, oh, I want to do that too, or something like that. Like it's just sort of, it's always trend based, a lot of stuff, but it's just like, come on. What the fuck is going on? Like, I feel like that all the fucking time, like all the time. And being creative and giving into the creativity is a way to cope with that, if not sort of combat. Combat is the verb version. Combating.
Giving into the creativity. What were you like as a kid? Like, what was coming up like? How you were like? When did you even start being creative? Like,
I didn't talk to nobody outside of my mom, I think, till I might have been, I was like really old when I would talk to anyone. Like, I think at first.
Old, like 21.
No, like my whole life. I was really like, I think in first grade, the teacher was having a conversation with my mom, and my mom said, oh, Sunny said something. And the teacher's like, she can talk. Like, I never talked in school. That's first grade. So I don't know how old that is. I was a few years old before I would talk to anyone, just super shy, super shy, but I really loved reading. Reading was just like all I wanted to do because it just felt like it was taking me somewhere. And it was taking me somewhere.
Where was it taking you?
Wherever the book was about, like it was an escape. Like
I was really into Goosebumps as a kid. That was like my favorite
had all
books.
the Goosebumps. Like I just kind of had like the regular stuff that everybody read when they were a kid, but I had all of them, and I had my bookshelf, and I reread them over and over and over. I had them lined up like I don't think it was in alphabetical order. It was just in the order that I might have read them, just so that I can go back and like, that reading was my really biggest thing. I think around I started getting more towards being a teenager was when I was like, I gotta learn the guitar. But yeah, I was quiet and nice and just like a good little kid.
And born and raised in Virginia Beach?
Chesapeake.
Chesapeake. So you're coming up reading. Do you still read?
I'm actually getting back into it now because I'll go a long ass time and realize that reading is like one of the things I need in my daily life. Every time I start up the habit again, I'm like, oh, I'm almost instantly okay. Because I have this like deep, when you do something when you're real little for religiously and with such like a love for it, like every night, that's what I do. So like now it does the same thing for me. I still love it. And the biggest thing is that it puts me to sleep. Like, you know, when you're a grown up, like you can't really go to sleep. You got a million things on your mind. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know, it's kind of hectic. So like, woof. Yeah, I'm reading now, but I'm not always. I sometimes forget about my roots. That reading is like, yeah, kind of like my roots.
What book or is there a book you're like in like reading right now?
I actually, a client actually suggested something to me when I said I need something really easy to get back into it, and then I'm gonna like dive into like, I really only read this author named Haruki Murakami. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but their stuff is like, you kind of have to be really zoned in with the reading. Like it's not necessarily easy. You gotta be really there. So before I go into another one of his books, I wanted something easy. She recommended something called The Midnight Library, which
what's that shit?
Is cool so far. It's like,
you should watch The Midnight Gospel. Have you heard of that? It's a show on Netflix by Duncan Trussell. It's like an animated show, but it's like very like transcendent. He goes into these topics of like creativity and death. It's a really interesting episode. I think it's the last episode where, because his mom died, so he does this very like weird but like interesting take on death and like interacting with his mom. Like throughout the show, somehow like his mom is the baby and he's the grown up, and like I kind of forgot because I watched like last year, but it's like it's really interesting. Like, you should watch that. I think you'll like it.
So animated.
It's an animated show, but it's covering a lot of like esoteric and like spiritual like topics. You know what I mean?
Esoteric. That's a good word.
I don't even know what that word means. I feel like I'm not even using that right, but
you probably are.
Yeah.
I've looked it up a few times. I can't ever remember exactly.
So you're reading as a kid. You said you started playing guitar at when?
Maybe 13.
So that was your
I
introduction
had to
to
force
music?
my dad to teach me. He just taught me one chord and then said, all right, that's enough. Like, I don't know why he didn't want to teach me the guitar. I was already in piano lessons. Like,
Okay, so piano was first.
it's just kind of like, but that's like a kind of normal thing. Like, a lot of people put their kids in piano lessons, and I was fine. I did it for a long time, but I just was reading the page. I never was playing the piano out of like an internal
Like feeling
energy.
it.
Yeah. I mean, I loved it. The piano teacher was amazing and like would pick out songs that I like, just like really dramatic stuff. But yeah, the guitar was where I kind of had to just do it myself. My dad taught me like the E chord and was like, that's called the cowboy chord. He might have taught me two, actually. He might have taught me E and A. And I remember like he was like, now you got to go practice. And I went up to the room of the garage, or just, I don't know. It's like I never left there for years. Like I was just there the whole time trying to figure it out. I mean, I'll tell you, these easy chords, it took me so many hours to even be able to do that. But yeah, after that, I was just, so the way I play guitar is not proper. Yeah, but
Is there a proper way? Doesn't everybody have like their kind of their own like swag with it? Like,
I think so. I think it's generally, I mean, I think you're right. I wouldn't really know. But like sometimes people be like, oh, you don't have your hand right. Like, and there may be like better ways for me to do what I'm doing. Like I'll be taking the thing with my like talons, like, but apparently there's like sometimes I do like a finger picking style and I come at the different strings like this. But I guess like there's a different way to do it. And it'd probably be easier on my hands. And
yeah,
it is hard to change. How do you
I try to play guitar. I tried to learn for like 2 months one time, and like I think like high school, just gave up.
You have to kind of be obsessed. Like,
Oh yeah,
there's so many people that play guitar, but I'm just like, my mind's blown because I just always remember how hard it was even just to know regular shit.
Because in the beginning you're just pretty much trying to learn other people's songs, right?
Yeah.
That's like how to play this song, how to play that song.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I was. And I still love covering songs. I fucking love it. Like, I know you do a lot of covers.
Yeah. Is there, are you actually playing guitar on some of your actual songs? Do you incorporate that, like your guitar playing with your music, or is it something you just do separately?
Most of my music that has guitar is me.
Okay. I know Gary plays a lot of stuff.
Gary does, like on some Sunny and Gabe. Yeah, you're right. I guess it would depend on what song, but a lot of it is mine. Like the first Sunny and Gabe, like mixtape thing was all mine.
All you, or your guitar? All
my guitar. I mean, there may be exceptions. Like I know, like I Love It. There's a guitar that was Brandon Gerard. It's kind of like I don't really think about what a blanket thing like that because everything's just kind of like there could be so many people involved and it's all good. Like the way it works is just like, oh, that's dope. Hell yeah. Like it's not ever like, oh, I gotta do this or I gotta do that. But yeah, my own music, like under my name, I don't think there's anything else that has anyone else's guitar. Maybe there may be a song or two. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's what I do. I like to get beats. I like to put my dirty guitar on there. And then I'd sing on there.
You ever gonna clean your guitar? You gonna keep it dirty forever?
Honestly, it's just getting dirty and dirty. That thing is messed up. Like all the pickups don't work, and it's just like I gotta save it. Like I gotta take it to somebody. But just like my car, like I don't feel like dealing with that shit. I can still make noise with it, and so like I'm probably gonna wait till it's like literally unplayable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got my one guitar. I've had it forever. I had it when I turned 16, and that's the only guitar I ever had. And I did have a classical guitar. I gave it away. But it's the only guitar I've ever wanted. I love it, and it's struggling right now. It really is. It can't even hardly be in tune. It's sad.
I saw I want to say on the Sunny and Gabe Spotify shit, so y'all linked up in 2012.
Yeah.
This is now, what, 12 years later?
It's a long-ass time.
Do you want to touch on how you guys linked up, the start of Sunny and Gabe?
We literally, like, beginning in maybe 2011, I decided I want to do music. Like, I went a long time without doing...
Is this after high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I was working with everyone, trying to see what's up. Sometimes people wanted to just do acid or some shit. And I was like, bruh, no. Like, I'm at home. I'm like, I bought a computer. I'm like trying to figure this shit out. I knew I kind of liked some electronic stuff, like beats and things like that. And I mean, I was just really so fucking out there. Like,
what do you mean by out there?
Out there, like,
just putting yourself out there, trying to link with people?
Just linking with everyone. And then, I mean, I guess it was about a year. Like someone had recommended that we work together, and he waited a while to hit me up. And when he did, he hit me up with I was putting stuff out on SoundCloud and things like that. And I was working with some people, not even just in person, but on SoundCloud around the world and things like that. Just like anything. I was just trying to go by myself, like with anybody, I don't know who, just going and doing it. He sent me a message on SoundCloud with a remix of one of my songs that I had posted already that was out.
He did a remix to it.
He fucking got, and I was like, I was a little irritated because I was like, how does he have this? Like, I didn't understand how you can, like, how could...
I mean, I think SoundCloud had an option to download tracks.
This was so early in SoundCloud,
he might have ripped it, though. He might have got...
like, like, you can totally rip shit, which I didn't know. So I'm like, how did he get this? And what the fuck is these... This shit sounds weird as fuck. Like, but, I had already sort of, like, tried to sort of do so many different things at that point that I was like, this shit is weird. And it caught me off guard, so I didn't know if I liked it. Like, it was just weird.
What did he do to the remix? Did he do, like
It's
sing
on our
on it? Did
first
he just
mixtape.
Okay.
The one he sent me is on our first mixtape. It's called Statue.
Okay.
I like it now. But the fact that it felt weird and I was like, what the fuck is going on? It wasn't expected. Well, one, the fact that he did it, but two, what he actually did on there was kind of weird. Like the way he kind of made the groove to it was weird. That's the only way I know how to say it. It was just weird, but in a good way. I was like, all right. After I got over the initial, like, what the fuck? I was like, this is interesting. Like, I like this. This is what I need. I don't need some boring shit, right? Like, I liked the fact that it was kind of weird. And then that was 2012. Then by 2013, we released that mixtape. And yeah, I had made so much other stuff too. It was just like a really good, consistent workflow.
So at that time before you guys linked, what were you putting out? Like stuff you produced and sang on it?
Yeah,
like,
stuff I produced and sang on, stuff that I sang on that I would like to other people produced, or like beats I got on. Like, there was a few different collaborations I had. It was so early in SoundCloud. It was really like a social media though. So it was like, that's what I'm kind of trying to get back to, just like posting rough shit, because it was so fun. You know, like, you would post something and like someone else would be like, oh, you were really friends. They'd be like, oh, can I put drums on this or something? It was like a working,
like collaborative,
a work in progress, like social media type thing. And it was really fun.
That's kind of how, just a side note, that's kind of how Kanye's album, I think The Life of Pablo was. That was the first time I seen that, where it was literally like different editions of the album would come out. Like, he dropped the album on platforms, and then like a few times after the release, it would change. Like, it'll be new songs on it, new versions of songs, like different orders. Like,
yeah, I like that.
And it was like an evolving album. It was pretty cool.
That's sick, because yeah, you know, a lot of us get stuck on like the demos, and like certain out of the 17 versions, there was like this one, like, and then they're just like, the thing about it was somehow left after that version, so we got to go back and find out. You know, that's.
So I guess you're making music solo for like about a year before Sunny Gabe started, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Do you know what was he? How long was he making music at the time? Like, what was
longer than me?
Okay.
I think. I don't know that it was like. I want to guess. Maybe 5 years or something. That's a guess.
Because you said you were reaching out to a bunch of people from out here and like all over. So I'm assuming, like, was he more tapped into the scene out here at that time?
Oh, yeah. I had first met him while he was DJing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd met him at a DJ night, and I remember someone was like, "Oh, you got to meet Gabe," and you know, he walked, you know, he's being all cool, walking past me doing this, and I remember being like, doing like that, some handshake. I can't do hand things like handshakes.
Is
like,
this after the SoundCloud link?
No, this was before.
Okay.
This was like just like a random, just meeting him, just like in passing, kind of. But it was just a really awkward moment, because I was like, I didn't want to be rude, but I can't do
a handshake. Is that what you're trying to do?
No, like thing, like fancy stuff. Like, I don't know.
Was he fucking
like
Gabe throwing gang signs at you in the club?
No, he was just doing like they'd be slipping and sliding, and like this, I can only do the high five. So.
I'll be honest, I have no idea what you're trying to say.
No, people be doing slick handshakes.
Oh, so it's a type of handshake.
Yeah,
okay.
like.
Oh, like slide
like
it.
some shit. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I literally can only like, I can shake a hand, but I get kind of nervous.
So that was almost a deal breaker. Like, Sunny and Gabe was not about to exist. If Gabe's handshake was like a little more complex, it might have never.
Yeah, I almost didn't open his SoundCloud message, because I was like, this is that guy.
With the weird ass handshake.
Yeah, he was weird. But yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, that was sort of like an afterthought. I didn't remember that for a while.
What was in your opinion, what was the scene like at that time? Because this is like a while later compared to now. Like, what is your view on the scene and like then and now? I
feel like I've just been around kind of like doing the same thing for so long, and not like being completely immersed in any scene, that I don't really know. Like, I'm pretty much at home doing shit. Like I go out when I gotta do, I don't want to say gotta do a show, but I'll go out when I perform, and sometimes I want to go see people DJing. So like that all was cool. Like, and especially a couple of years later when we had like Alchemy and the creative scene in Norfolk was super active and like many people coming together. It was like real inclusive. Like it was like different. Anybody who was creative, their like clique or whatever, like everyone kind of became one. I don't know that it feels like that now, only because no one really has anywhere to go.
Like, what do you mean anywhere to go?
Anywhere to go. Like, there's not really like a place where everyone goes, right? There's not a place that everyone goes. Now,
like as far as what, like for a show or to create stuff, or
I think just being out, like in a space that's kind of like.
I would say there is though. Like, there's a lot of bars. Like you look at Crocs, the place we were just at the other night.
But I think that I don't count that stuff because it's too far for me to drive to. Because I'm a baby. Because I want it in Norfolk.
Oh, we driving for Newport News.
Yeah, you're right. Like, oh, like,
you know what I mean?
Everything's far for you.
Well, okay, even the events that you went to at those times, like how many people, like what was the amount of people showing up to these creative events? Was it similar now, more or less? Like, because right now I would say it's probably like 300 people.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. I think there's definitely, I mean, every event that I've been to is a ton of people. And I think it's fun. For me, it's just far to drive, to go anywhere, really. I kind of like the Ghent or downtown Norfolk. It's close for me. Or then I gotta, like, if I want to have fun, go or have any drinks, like pay the Uber and stuff like that, which is fine. But yeah, maybe I just haven't been out enough and I don't know what the fuck is going on. That could also be true, but that's true for many phases. I mean, I stay in the house for long periods of time.
Was there like an open mic scene at that time? Like, what were some of your first performances?
First performances. What was the actual first one? I know Alchemy was one of the first ones. I think there was like a little event or like a couple days sort of like little festival thing. Where else? I know one of our first shows was in New York at like an art gallery.
Sunny Gabe shows. Okay.
Yeah. One of them was in New York. And I feel like that was really early on because we were just figuring out how do we even play live. Like we'd just been on the computer.
What was the trajectory of like Sunny and Gabe? Like, because I know you guys have gotten like a good amount of success. So like, what was like those early drops? Like, when did it, like, how did it start taking off? Like, also, yeah, how was that show at the art gallery in New York?
It was fire. Everybody was like, Kanye watched y'all on video chat with Mike Dean.
Wait, what? Go into that.
I had no idea. I didn't know who anyone is.
Like, what's a video chat? I'm just putting my shit on SoundCloud. Like,
yeah, we were out there struggling. Like, we had no gear. We are just like playing the beats. I'm playing the guitar over them myself. Like, we had the drummer. We're in an art gallery, which already, it's not a place built for sound. So yeah, I don't know really what was going on with that.
Wait, so what happened with? How did Kanye see it on video chat? What was that about?
Was Mike Dean there? I don't know. I gotta ask if that was what happened. He might have been there. There was not very many people there at all. So that happening was a little bit weird. And I don't know if that was a real thing. But I think we had fun as much as we could. I think we were just kind of like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. We're just like out here trying to figure it out. I can't remember the other first shows. I have to really like think back about that. My memory is a little cloudy.
When did like things start taking off for you guys? Did you notice? Like, what was the first thing that like hit?
Well, we had a lot. I feel like the first mixtape was kind of like an underground thing. Like it was getting posted by a few blogs and things like that, because this is at a time when blogs was people still looking to blogs. But then I feel like I Love It was like a bigger thing at the time. Okay,
so was he I guess he was already working with drum when
I don't really know because I'll just notice like, wait, are we not? I'm used to a certain workflow, and then when it wasn't that, it's like I didn't know really what was going on, but like then I found out, oh, this is why. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah, it was a golden time when like we got to like kind of like work on some stuff together. So I love it. It was actually just like a really fun, it was essentially just like a fun night. My verse I had done in advance, but all the other parts, like the hook and like drums part, were all done one night at my house.
So y'all recorded
Like
at your house?
gang vocals, yeah.
You still live at the same spot you live now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I love that house.
Bro, I love it. It's one of those ones. I listen to that song a lot. You guys just performed
A lot
it.
of people always commented on the video, still here 2022, still here 2023, still here 20. People, and it's crazy because you have to really be moved to make a comment. Like, I feel like some of the people making comments have done it before in years past. Like, people will be feeling so strong about, I don't know why I didn't blow up and things like that. And we know we're not worried about that, but it's nice that people, and it's also kind of like a Virginia thing. Like,
So wait, who made that beat?
that was a collaboration beat with, I want to say Gabe, Bub, and I know like a couple other people worked on it too. I think it was I would just sort of like, I was never physically there when Gabe be working with people. So I actually didn't know until way later that Gabe was working with so many different people like on these beats. And I'm like, huh? And he's like, well, now when you think about it, I just was getting an email. So I think it was all Gabe. But it's like an amalgamation of like a lot of different stuff, which is really cool. I think that's what makes it interesting.
We listen to that song like on every road trip. Every time we've done a travel pod, I play that a few times. I listen to that song all the time. You and Gabe just performed it the other night.
Oh yeah.
At the Players Ball. Also, I feel like I caught a rare moment at Something in the Water last year when you guys all performed together. I don't know if that was the first time in a while or ever. I don't
With
know
drum.
Yeah, with drum. I caught that on video, and that's on our Instagram right now. I thought that was a really cool moment.
Huh, yeah. I know that happened, but I'll be kind of stressed out about when I'm doing those kind of shows because I just, you know, it's almost like I can't remember. It's like I'm blacked out. Like I don't actually know what
You don't remember Something in the Water last year? For real?
I'd have to be like guided to a certain place, time, and stuff like that because it'll be a whirlwind. One, that shit's far away to get to from
It's
Portsmouth.
really not even far away.
But for me, it is because I'm a baby about driving. Like, no, that's so far. Like, yeah, if it's more than.
Well, I remember y'all did that. You did the cover for the same song. You did the cover.
Was that
for
the
Here.
one where it was daytime?
It was daytime.
That's why I don't remember it. The lights are on. I'm stressed the fuck out. Like,
what's that cover song you do all the time? Because it's the first song you did on here when you and G Donna did a shit up here.
oh, that was Sade, By Your Side.
Yeah.
We since then.
How long you been doing that cover?
Oh.
That's your go-to?
A while. Like, I don't even know how it started. It's not, I don't think it's a go-to anymore because I think everyone finally got tired of it now. The last Sunny Gabe show we did, we opened up with a couple of my disco songs because I was like, we got to do something different. Like, so like, I don't care what band it is. Like, I like have more fun with Sunny and Gabe because it feels like a group thing and it's like you got everybody's energy. But I was like, I want to do that with these other songs. They're not, you know, might not be Sunny and Gabe, but can we play them? And they were like, okay. And I was like, hell yeah. Like, cause I'm not like a real label type person. I just will always, I was saying like about me and Gabe had like a good workflow and it was very much consistent and just like, you could have that as like a part-time job, you know, or a full-time job if you want. Like we just go.
What was
so,
your
like,
guys' workflow like?
Just regular passing back and forth emails. So just a constant work. There may be 2 or 3 songs normally at a time being worked on. You know, you send back and forth notes, stuff like that. That's the only way I know how to work because that's how I the first time I kind of got like a workflow that ever got anywhere. Like
working on
stuff.
multiple things at once.
Working on multiple things at once.
Does that get confusing?
But also like working from email. So I don't know how to work in person now. I try to like get past like my comfort zone with that. But I don't understand how to pull up to a studio. Like I think of things off the top of my head, but I never have nobody around. Like,
see, I kind of feel like that's in a way, but I get comfortable when I'm working on stuff even with people. Like sometimes it might be weird just hanging out with somebody not creating stuff, but it's like when we're creating, okay, it's like, okay, we just kind of in the zone and it's easier. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I love doing like other shit, like creative stuff with people, but for making music, it's just kind of
rather
like,
be solo, just by yourself.
I would, but I want to try to work on that. I try to work on that, but I'm like, I gotta go back home and figure out what I want to do. Like, and I need silence and just my own clickety click and going really fast and just like screaming if I need to and just like being totally unlikable. Like, I don't think I'm like a.
You say unlikable?
Yeah, I'm not a likable person when I get in the zone, because I feel like I'm just chasing after what I want to do as fast as possible, and it's a great feeling. It feels otherworldly, but it's not like chilling. Like, it's not like easy going. Like, I don't really like want to be around somebody when I'm like that, because I'll be like, this is my private self.
I get that.
And Gabe can deal with it, but I think both of us are kind of like, we like to be. Well, I love doing it like that.
How did you, or where did you get kind of the vision or the inspiration for your videos? I feel like you have really cool videos, and they go back. I went to your earliest video, and you kind of already had that style on your first video. It's like, what was the idea?
What was my first video? Like that I made myself?
Yeah, like on your YouTube channel. It still kind of gave off that kind of weird vibe.
Yeah, in 2018, I got a phone that had room on it. I had a leftover piece of green stuff from something we'd worked on with someone else. And I ended up having a piece of green something. Like a green piece
screen?
of paper or something. And I was like, I know they always say like, I have no idea. I literally don't know what I'm doing, anything I'm doing. But I was like, I think that they said the green can look like anything behind you. I'm talking about like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. So I was like, I'm going to put up my phone and I'm going to, I want to try it out and see what it's like. And I was like, well, in the meantime, I might as well pick a song and just kind of like play it and just sort of like, I just want to see how it goes, right? Just like day off, and when you're a creative person, you want to just be doing shit. So I set up the phone behind the green thing, and then I'm like, what do I do now? Oh, I have the iMovie. Like, I mean, every single step of it was like trying to figure it out. I didn't know how to key the green out. I had to find the little button that you press, and I was like, whoa, it worked. And then that whole day, I made the whole video that day, and I was like, that was so fun. It was like a new drug unleashed to me. It was just like, this isn't gonna kill me, and like, this was so fun. Like, so that's how I started doing the green screen thing, and that's how I started doing any video at all. Was just because I went through and just made a video one day, and I didn't know what I was doing. That's why I just believe. I don't know. I believe in creativity, and I believe that it's for everyone.
How do you feel when you look back on your old stuff? Do you feel like you're still that same person? Do you see like an evolution in yourself or like in your art?
Do. Like, I'm not really sure, like, because.
Do you even go back and look at your old stuff like right now?
I really don't. I don't very often, but when I do, I always have like very big realizations. Because it'll be after so long and I really forgot all about these things. And I do have a feeling of like, oh, like,
look at
I
me.
like it. Like, and I didn't know how to do this or that. But like at the same time, I don't know that like it's not necessarily a sense of progress. Like, I don't know that I'm better than I ever was, because it's just like a pure release of stuff, and you just find different ways. Like, I've lost some of my plugins for music, which means I'm kind of like reverting. Like, I don't have like the right effects and things like that. That feels like going backwards, like, right? Like, but yeah, it's not necessarily like a progress thing. It's like nostalgia. It's like, oh, and I'm never mad at it. Like, I don't ever have a problem with the things I've done. I generally like them, and it's just kind of like a blast from my past. Like, wow, I didn't know I did that. Sometimes I don't remember even making things. I normally don't remember because you just be doing it.
I feel like the way I look back at some of my shit is like I gauge it on how like if the feeling I was feeling got translated into the work. And I can tell that myself by looking back at it because I remember how I felt, and it's like whatever the work is, okay, like it gives me that same feeling when I watch it today. So it's like it'd be like it's like a time capsule kind of.
Yeah. And I think that like being able to, what was the word you used?
Time capsule?
Yeah, but like being able to express. Yeah, being able to express and yeah,
well,
and then
like,
later
it's like
feeling
bottle
it
that
too.
feeling. It's like how well you express the feeling.
That's
you were
exactly
feeling, how
to
well
me.
it translated. Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Because to me, it's like, yeah, you could do stuff and never show anybody, but if you ever want to show anybody, it's like always really fun to see how can you get it to where other people understand too, and not necessarily understand you, but like can tap into that with you.
Well, I mean, people can also just kind of get a sense of how to express their feeling, whatever they're feeling,
Exactly.
through seeing you do it.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? And also not so much as of late, because these past few years I've been really like locked in. But like years ago, I was in a phase where like I wasn't like right now. I do stuff every week. I create every week, almost every day I'm doing something, and I'm just kind of building momentum. But in those times, I had down times where sometimes I'll feel real inspired and I'll be doing shit and putting it out. And then other times I'm super discouraged and not making anything, not going outside, not putting anything out. So I would use the stuff I made from my like inspired moments as fuel to get me through the discouraging moments. Like I'll just listen to that stuff like, damn, I was like super inspired right there. Like I need to get back to that. And it's like, that kind of is like what lifts me back up to it. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like you sort of like developing your thing, kind of like what you want to do and creating like a consistency with it, like helped you from not having so many like off moments? Like it's sort of like you've got your momentum to a point that you can just.
So I think the schedule is a big key. So right now we're scheduled up till August with the podcast.
So you can't have downtime.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what you're doing.
Pretty much you get to the point of muscle memory. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think it's different with the podcast than it was when I was just making music, because I didn't have any structure. I'm just like making stuff and just putting it out, and I don't really know what's next. So with this, it's like, no matter what happens today, this episode could blow up tonight, but I already know I have another podcast booked next week. And now I've done it enough to where it's just like, it's almost like being professional with it. It doesn't really matter how I feel. Now I've gotten to the point where I just I have to show up.
I feel like that would help keep me like up to a certain level, just like, because sometimes when it's just like really up to the moment and you just really can do whatever you want and things like that, and you don't, like you said, schedule's key. I think that's just it. And I kind of want to get like that too.
And with music, that can even translate into having a release schedule, because I know you're the type of person to like make a lot of music, and then I feel like you get to a point where like, man, I got to put something out, so now you're just going back through all your old shit,
it's so
trying to put something together.
Yeah, I do want to. I've been starting to randomly upload things on SoundCloud. It's like I'm still saving like so many things that the things that are closest to me, like I just find it hard to. But yeah, I want to get rid of. I'm fucking stopped up. No, even though I just did like a little EP, it was like nothing. Like it was nothing in the pile of stuff. It's so much pressure. Like
So your favorite song you ever made is not out, or is it out?
I don't really have a favorite song, but like I would say definitely no. But then again, like there's a lot that are out that I deeply connect to. So I'm kind of just like, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to make new songs. Like I feel like, won't you run out of like songs? Like, so I think right now, like my goal this year is to like live life a little bit more, because I feel like that's living life is kind of like how you would ever get inspiration to do things. Like, I'll just be at home all the fucking time. Like, why didn't I make a song this week and things like that? And I'm like, bitch, you didn't go anywhere. Like, you're not doing anything.
Everything
like,
was so far away.
Can't be
I wanted to go, but it was just like 4
what?
miles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's like that mixed with like, you know, certain just like, you just get too used to not doing stuff. And then you be startled when you go walk down the front steps. Like,
That just reminds me of, you seen Harold and Kumar go to White Castle?
Yeah, I don't remember it though.
There was a scene where they were leaving the apartment about to go to White Castle, and then like one of them forgot their phone. And they were like, damn, I forgot my phone. He's like, should we go back and get it? And they like turned back and the door was like 10 feet away. They were like, we've gone too far.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like,
yeah, so okay, so you touched on Mirage. That's your new EP. Lex Lucen is on there. I think I forgot what song, but I think it's from that where you did the video at the pool.
Yeah, that's called Aberdeen. Aberdeen? I don't know. It's not a real word.
Is that the street from Hampton you're talking about? Aberdeen?
Honestly, that was a beat name from Battle when he sent it to me. Okay. I'm not one to name songs. Occasionally I will, but I don't really care what things are called. I named it the beat that it was called.
Sunny was
he actually
Aberdeen
probably
like
has
that?
a better story about that than I do. Like, because I don't know why he named. I might have spelled it wrong than what he did. I have no idea.
Okay, so why Mirage right now to drop? Because I think before that your last, maybe I think your actually only album is the Listen to Me Lightning.
Yeah.
That was 2021.
Yeah.
And yeah, so what's up with Mirage? What was the idea behind that? Just another one of those. You have a bunch of shit in the tuck.
Battle's been sending me beats. Battle has really amazing beats. I love them. I started getting on his beats a long time ago. And
I'm sorry, what's his name again?
Battle.
Okay.
Battle. Yep. So but there was, within the past few years, there was like a time when I might have done like 2 or 3 of them within like it was enough to make me be like, oh, we have like
2 or 3 of his beats.
His beats, okay. Yeah. They might have been like within like a certain time frame. So, cause I'm always doing like, there's many different beats, many different things I'm doing, types of songs. Like I'm never finding a sound. I'm never developing a sound. I'm never refining a sound. I'm always seeing what's in my email. What's easy to find. If someone happened to send me something when I want to record, I'm about to go check it out. Otherwise, I might not even listen to it because that's just how it is. When the urge calls, you go look on the computer real quick. Oh, I just want to record. Like I'm just picking something. Or sometimes people send like Battle. Like I know Battle Beat's gonna have like a mystery vibe to it, and like that's my favorite. But yeah, it's like we had a few songs and I was like, oh, then I got the really old ones that I ended up putting on the secret track because they didn't have a session or stems or anything. But I was like, I love those old ones. They sounded so wild. But yeah, I have a few different projects and I wanted to put one out. I was like, it's an emergency. I need to pick one. I didn't have a budget. I thought I was going to have a budget. I ended up like having to spend my money on something else. So I ended up not having a budget. So out of all my projects, I chose that one to do myself because I was already going to have to do like putting the song together myself and like kind of like produce the songs and like chopping them up and just, I knew it was already going to be like sort of, that's where my idea came from. It's like a SoundCloud inspired project because that's how it would work back in my favorite time of SoundCloud is you just put shit out. Fuck it. Like, so that's kind of what I did with those. They weren't, I didn't have the stems for all the beats. I kind of just like, I mixed them myself without taking 6 years, which is how long it took me for my album. Like I mixed myself. That I actually think I did a good job mixing, but I didn't have that much time. I was like, it's an emergency. It's just like, yeah, maybe it's not good, but I don't know. Why
was it an emergency?
Because I just inside, like, I was like, I found myself not able to make anything because there's just so many songs. Like, and I feel like if I release a few of them, then it's going to make a little bit more room. It's kind of like when your phone runs out of room. And you're like, let me delete this one video and then I can like live for another day or something like that. Like it was kind of like that kind of thing. Like
I think we were talking about this a little. You were telling me when we were doing the Howl stuff and you were like, you felt almost like was like trapped by the amount of stuff you had, and it was like just a
you start
big
to
weight
feel
on
like you can't breathe, and it's like
yeah.
creating anxiety and just makes.
I think that's what we were talking about. I was like, bro, just like I would just stop overthinking it. Just put shit out.
Yeah,
like.
and I think, but I had everything like ready to go when you said that, and I was just sort of like not doing it by default because I just haven't been sharing anything, and I was like, oh yeah, I think I have a project, like, and it is not like, I don't know, done, maybe done, but like I'm calling it done. Like it's done on my say because it has to be.
How did you and Lex Lusen link up for you guys' song, I think, Two Tone?
Yeah. Actually, like I had shown it to my friend Myron and he was like, he loved it. I had shown him what I did. And I was like, I was thinking about asking Lex to get on it. And then maybe that night or the next day, like we were out somewhere. I think it was like, thank you. Or no, Slow Dive. Myron said, look, Sunny has something to ask you. Yeah. Mind you, I'm cool with Lex. Like, he didn't need to do that. Like, he didn't need to it was embarrassing because Lex was like, what's up? And I was like, you want to get on a song? Like, she came through with Dot one day, and they recorded at my house, like, and it was, I couldn't figure out how to get my stuff to work right, and like, but she did it. It was cool.
And then so you also engineer all your own stuff now.
Yeah.
You touched on you lost plugins. What plugins?
Oh yeah, because everything I have is illegal. So like there was part of my plugins, I think it's like part of what makes them work. Got like something happens. I don't know.
You might have updated your software.
I didn't. I purposely don't update. I can hardly use my computer because it's so outdated. So I don't do it so that I don't lose my stuff because I don't know what's going to happen. Cause I didn't put it on there because I don't understand none of it. People will do it for me, and then I click all the buttons, figure out what to do. But my favorite thing to use was this thing called Sound Toys, and that was my shit. Like it took me a while to get I had to get a new process, whatever. I'm always losing. I don't know, whatever. Things break. Don't you always find yourself having to like figure everything out again? I
went through that with
every
plugins.
Part of life.
Yeah, because I actually I illegally downloaded all my plugins for so long, including Logic Pro. Like the actual program.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah.
So, but I try to finesse Apple because I don't know if you remember, like I think 3 or 4 years ago, a new Logic Pro came out, like Logic Pro X, like 10, I think.
I remember.
But I had the one before that, and if you bought that one, you were allowed to upgrade for free to the new one. So I illegally downloaded the first one, so I didn't have the update. But I tried to finesse Apple. I called them, I was like, I got the first one, but like it won't let me update to the new one. They're like, yeah, we don't see in the system that you paid for it, so you're just gonna have to pay for it.
You could have just lived with the other version.
I bought the new version, but it's a lot smoother experience. Like if you buy all the shit, the plugins. Like,
I'm at that point.
It works a lot better.
I've had multiple conversations today where I'm just like, I'm about to spend all my money and just buy everything I need so that way I can update my computer. I can get a new computer. Like I'm not caught in because I'm like, I can't lose Final Cut.
They're not cheap, but if you also think about it comparatively to back in the day when you had to buy all the physical equipment, you're probably going to spend like 10 times the amount you're going to spend on the plugins to get like the professional quality.
Yeah, and I know how to do stuff. Like I feel like I'm pretty thrifty. Like I'll find a way to do it. But yeah, I'm at that point. Like my creativity is down a little bit only because everything's broken. Like everything's basically got like crazy viruses. My phone's really old. I tried today to get the 17 update. It won't even do it. Yeah, like I can't get apps. Like everybody's telling me get on Laps. I don't know what that is, but like I'm hungry for like something new and like different to do on the phone. Like the new thing I can't get it. I can't get nothing.
The new thing is this VR coming up. Are you seen the Apple Vision Pro?
No, I haven't seen anything.
Really? You might not have been on the internet like that. So Apple dropped their virtual reality goggles that they've been like hinting at for literally like 10 years. I've been following it for like 10 years, and every year it's dropping this year, and like just came out.
I feel like I'm not gonna get that.
Yeah, they're like $3,500 right now. I'm not getting this one, but it's gonna be the future once it gets down to like just smaller pair of glasses.
Yeah, once, yeah. When I think about that and like the ways that it can go if it just went exponentially, it's frightening to me. But like not because I'm inherently scared of
what
like,
is growing exponentially, I would say, is the AI video software right now. Have you
AI
seen the Sora
everything.
shit? There's a new program called Sora that's about to drop. It's a video AI where it's like text to video. And I don't know if you've seen last year that like up until now, it was like 3-second clips. You can just make a prompt like, make me a video of an apple falling off a tree, and it'll just make the video. And it was like 3 seconds, and it was kind of crude. It wasn't like the greatest quality. But now this new one called Sora, and it's about to drop, and you can do up to 1 minute clips, and it looks so real. Like, and so
Wow.
I think in like 1 or 2 years, you literally won't be able to believe anything you see on the internet. Like any video could be fake. You know what I mean? And that's where it's gonna get kind of scary.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like the
yeah.
least scary part to me. Like that as like a creative person and stuff. Like, yeah, you can feel sort of like
Creative wise, it'd
scared
be
by
really
that.
fun though. It'd be like, yeah.
But my concerns with everything is not really like what's gonna like hinge upon my content, because like it's just like it's a non-issue. The reason I make it is for the process of making it. It's never gonna be like, oh no, it's not gonna be as good, like some shit like that. It's more about is like other, if we can do this, what is that like, what are the implications in every
That's what I'm saying. It's not.
just
I'm not.
like when you think about it, it's frightening because yeah, it's cool that things can look real, but then it's like you think about how many situations where that can be scary, like
make a video of the
be
president
tricked or,
doing
like,
something illegal.
Yeah, I don't
you know what I'm saying, or
like,
something weird.
We
like
really don't know
anything.
what's real. We already don't know what's real. We already don't know what's real. I think I don't even want to say like certain things, but I think that we, for the most part, don't know what's going on, and
It's hard to know what's going on.
It's
with so much information, you really have to
you can't.
decipher who's
I don't
telling the
think you can.
truth, what, you know what I'm saying, what's what.
I don't think we're capable of even actually knowing like really what's going on.
Yeah, so I think we're headed for I would say a confusing future. I'm optimistic, so I think it'll be cool.
I think we're running humanity.
From the creative aspect, I'm excited to create things with this new technology that's coming out, because it's going to be all about the ideas. From now, we see the execution of an idea becoming easier and easier. So whatever, like 40 years ago, if you wanted to make a movie, you needed a whole team of like 100 people, these like big ass cameras, like only certain people could do it, because only certain people could get that equipment or have the money to get that stuff. So over time, we see just the execution of the idea just getting cheaper and more accessible to everyday people. So I think we're just going to the far extreme of that. It'll just be at the click of a button. If you have a fire idea, you just type it up in the script, and in the click of a button, you make the whole movie. But it's about the idea itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And yeah, to all that. But part of what I think is that it's being lost, and I don't know if it's just like a part of me that's like, I don't know, longing for like certain things, but there's kind of like some, you know, now you couldn't just be anybody and make this stuff, right? Like it took like a lot, like, I mean, I feel like you had to have luck, equipment, money, like, and then the acting, but like the acting. I forgot.
AI can act too.
I know, but I swear it's like a thing for old. I have a thing for old stuff. I always like it better, and it's just, I think it's like an escape thing. But I've watched a couple of older things. You know, every time I do watch things that are kind of older with certain actors in them, I'm just like, holy shit! Like, I haven't seen anyone that could play this they'll be just like amazing me, because I'm so used to watching things that maybe like
the acting level was
the
just way
acting
higher.
level is just like whatever. Like I'll still be watching it because I'll watch anything like and enjoy it. But it's like sometimes you come across something and you're like, whoa, like I haven't seen. It's, to me, like there's something magical about that. These like actors that are so good at what they do, and they really make you believe it, and they just have there's a something that so cliche. There's a something that you can't name that some people, and I don't know, I'm sure the AI can do it. Like I'm not like worried about it, but I just sort of like miss actors like of a certain level. And I'm not the snob, like not like, oh, they were like more famous and better, but it's just like a actual. I feel like there was actual stuff you had to learn, like specific things, and we don't have to anymore.
Yeah, there was
and I love that because I don't learn how to.
You
do
had
like,
to really focus on the substance in those times, because this even goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the pod with how people now with content rely on effects and all the shock value stuff and this and that. But when you take all that away, it's the rawness of it is that substance. So maybe in the movies back then they didn't have fucking effects and 3D shit to rely on or whatever. So they had to really the acting had to be top notch.
And it's not even just acting. It's like it's everything about it was just like. I'll be watching, like, after a long time of watching whatever's on Netflix Top 10, like, I'll finally go and, like, watch, like, an old movie or, like, some shit. And sometimes I'm like, but again, I have a thing with nostalgia. Like, I'll like the film. Like, I don't know what it is, but there's definitely something, I don't know. I'm for everything. I'm for back when like everyone had to be so talented and just like a true master of their craft to even make art. But at the same time, I don't feel that I'm a master of anything except for expressing myself, because once I express it and I know I did it, I'm right. But I'm not like a musical, I don't know technically stuff, like a trained one of the best of the best, right? So like for me, it turns out good. But the being masters of a craft, like, is good. But maybe we'll become masters of prompts, and that's a craft. I try to keep an open mind, you know?
Okay, so I just have a few more questions for you. Favorite era of music and favorite recent movie you've seen? Like the last good movie you've seen.
Era of music, probably 70s, only because, like, everything from the 70s just makes me feel good. It's like, remember I was saying like the volume of music. I felt like it was more chilling. Like it was more warm, soft, didn't stress me out. It was just kind of smooth. Beyond like across genres, kind of like that era. Movie.
That's a good movie you've seen.
I can't remember because I watch everything and I don't remember what even to watch. I watched an episode of Curb, which isn't a movie, but
what's that?
Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David. I have a whole podcast to talk about that. So I don't know what movie I watched that was good, but I know the last thing I watched was the newest Curb Your Enthusiasm episode. That's all I can remember.
And last question I was going to ask you was how you linked up with Jesse. I think he goes by JT Vision, right? He does a lot of video stuff. He had me so weak. What's the video where it's like the alien spaceship comes that he did?
The one from my other album.
I think so. It was like the alien spaceship comes and you're like...
we have a couple with alien spaceships.
It's the silver one.
Are you talking about the animated one or the real person one?
The real person one. You're in it. When it cuts to him and he has the silver suit on.
And it was supposed to be Gabe because that shit is funny. I fuck with Jesse so heavy because he is a true master, and he's one of those that's not scared of AI. He's incorporating it into shit.
No, he's on that shit.
He's on everything, but he's also can shoot in real life and stuff. But we just had a loose idea what it was gonna be, and we're just kind of like going. You worked with me before. I'm just kind of like, all right, now what?
Well, we all work together. He helped us out with the house stuff.
Oh yeah. But I was like, we wanted a mail, and I had bought the suit and everything.
He was like, I'm not wearing that shit.
Nah, yeah, that's probably what it was. He dropped. He wasn't around all of a sudden on that day, and Jesse was like, I guess
of the suit. He was like, I think I gotta.
Jesse was like, I guess I have to do it. So like Jesse had to like tell me what to do with the camera. So like I technically shot. It wasn't a stable camera. It was like I was holding it, and he had to wear that.
Where did y'all shoot that like desert scene? Where was that at? Was that all green screen or that was
no green screen. But I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff looked like it was green.
We were actually like in a field, but I don't know what he's doing. He's like, it's still kind of what it was in real life, but he'll be changing stuff. To me, it blows my mind. Like, I can't understand. I know, like, it's not as fun for him because, like, I don't know what he's talking about. But I'm always just like, I know you can do some crazy shit. Like, because he was like, I'm make a spaceship and we're going to this field. And I'm just like, I don't know how the field is going to have a spaceship too and still be the real field from the video. But somehow it was like, it blows my mind.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Me and him are supposed to be linking. I think he's going to help us make the 3D model of Larry. So once we do that, then our Larry videos will go up a notch.
But I was gonna say he's trying to be funny too. Like he's okay. He's not too serious. Like,
like with that scene of him.
He's
in the
real
suit.
serious, like serious as shit about what he does. But as far as like how he's like applying it, like he's cool with being funny. Like he knew that shit was funny. When it goes to him and he's wearing it, I laugh every single time, and he laughs too. And I like the feeling of like making something that you care about and that is serious to a certain extent, but there's a humor there, like, because how can you not have a little humor in everything?
That was kind of what our skits were about, like all the stuff, even the stuff we did. I don't know if you actually seen it. I have the Hal letter up on the wall over there, so that's a moment in history right there that you wrote to Joe. You see it up top? Above that, like...
Oh, I see it, yeah. That was a moment. We did too much too fast. And then all of a sudden I was like, I'm tired of Hal.
We came and went. Did that shit and went.
Gone, no more Hal.
You feel me? That's it. Yeah, I think the skits might actually, we've been talking about it, and they might have just been a 2023 thing. I think we've retired them. We're moving on to the next thing.
Because I was having a blast, so I'm like all about it. You were having a blast. You're all about, but... You know, some characters weren't meant to live forever.
No, not even just the Hal ones. I'm just talking about just the, you know how we did like a bunch of skits last year?
Oh, don't ever stop doing it all the way.
You think so?
No, just, I think make it like a, I feel like those things aren't a thing to rush or to force or to feel like you have to do them ever. Don't ever feel like you have to do them, but I think that if you have it in the back of your mind, we don't always come across certain ideas or moments that are just going to be perfect for that style. Like, but don't discount it because they're really good.
Don't completely dismiss it.
Don't make yourself do them in your schedule, but always be down.
That's a great point too. Different ideas can take different kinds of execution. So not every idea should be this super high produced thing, or something should be more raw, or something should be produced this way, or maybe presented this way.
Those fucking skits y'all are doing, there's like a few of them that are just like, please don't stop doing it all together. You don't need to make as many. You know what I'm saying? Like, just leave some room for them, please.
We talked about those for a year. So we talked about the skits all 2022. We were just figuring out the formula. Didn't do one yet. 2023 January comes, we do the first one. That was the first one, 2023, January. Then we did like 20 or 30 of them all throughout last year.
Yeah, that's a lot. I would say please don't stop doing it, but maybe don't put pressure on it. But if an idea sparks up and you know that it's going to be fire, because whatever formula
we need a new formula. We trying to come up with I really want to start doing, now I want to start doing 5-minute short films. That's what I feel like is my next thing. So we'll see how that goes.
Then that's a way that you would sort of incorporate some of the subtleties,
some of the techniques and shit
like
from
things
those,
that just made it really funny. Like, yeah, as long as you be doing that somewhere, like, I'm okay. But I just want to say, don't let them die.
Okay, I appreciate that.
They can evolve to be a part of something else. It's fine with me.
Okay,
but
hell yeah. Do you want to touch on anything else? And anything you want to lead the people with? Anything you want to say is coming up next? Any
I'm
shows
sure I do,
coming up
but
next that you know of?
I'm gonna be probably having a couple drinks and singing my disco songs again at the Chrysler on March 7th. It's like it's my fun little set, like singing my disco songs that aren't out yet. But I just like, it's the most fun thing to perform. Other than that, yeah, I have mad shit to say, but I'm not focused right now. I don't have it pinpointed.
Yeah, hell yeah. I appreciate you for coming through.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. We did, I don't know if you guys want to see, we had actually Sunny on for the first time with Raisa and Bobby Blaze on Halloween. Was that last year or 2022? That might have been 2022, actually. That was 2022. That was a cool episode. We went into something. I really don't remember shit about that episode other than
I don't remember.
That's where the Christmas song was decided to get released. So that was a fire moment from that episode.
And it did come out. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I appreciate you. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. All of Sunny's links will be in the description. Check her out. Catch her at the Chrysler Museum on March 7th, right?
And then Sunny and Gabe March. I don't want to make a big deal of it or nothing like that. You're saying it all professional.
Am I though?
Yeah, casual at the Chrysler. Sunny and Gabe playing at Smart Mouth the 23rd too. That's just like all I can remember right now. Smart Mouth.
Smart Mouth?
Yeah. A beer place.
Okay, so we getting some drinks when we slide. Okay.
You got to bring some liquor, please.
Right. Oh yeah. Also, cheers. This is like my first time drinking on the pod in like 2 years, I think. So I'm a kind of drunk.
I drank 2 drinks.
I'm a little drunk. I feel like every time we hang out, I drink with you. So shout out to that.
It's a coping mechanism for me to be able to. I'd be shy.
Yeah.
So we got to drink. I don't know.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah. We gonna see y'all soon, man. Peace.
Where's the even camera at?
They're all over. It's a reality show.
Is that it? 3? Okay.